It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Next Reel Saturday Matinee, our weekly show where the Next Reel team gets together to talk about everything we want to talk about. The news, movie reviews, new trailers, and of course our weekly list challenges. I am here today with the wonderful and talented Pete Wright.
Oh, I see. You said that, and I thought you were talking about Tom. Wonderful and talented. I just am here. He's the wonderful and talented one.
And then he follows it up with, and then this bag of crap Tom. And I'm like, what's happening?
Cross out bag of crap.
Hi, Ray.
Hi. Good to be with you, Pete. And also the charmingly genial Tommy Metz III.
Oh, you had me a charmingly genial and my whole name. Thanks, buddy. Pleasure to be here.
That's a great second to bag of crap.
Yeah.
Or as you might know him, Tommy Handsome.
That's right.
Handsome.
Sorry, I was going off your Zoom name. Anyway,
That's fine.
So gents, how you doing? How are your movie lives? What have you been watching?
I have started a Prime Video thing, which came out that didn't get terribly good reviews. It's a limited series, but it's called Them. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's an anthology where this whole story, and it's rough, but it is so stylish and so interesting and legitimately scary at times. It's about a African-American family in the 19 races. I don't know, like the whatever racist, the most racist is 1950s, probably, moving into a house in Compton, California, back when Compton was incredibly white. And so they are like the interlopers on it. And it is partly supernatural horror and partly whites are the worst horror. And the style just keeps bringing me back. It's extremely well acted. I'm not sure how good it is, but I'm finding it really fascinating. And it's got an incredible point of view. So, yeah, that sort of came out of nowhere, and I just gave it a try, and the style really hooked me.
That is such a funny review, Tom. Not because it's funny because of you, but because I have heard that about that property more than a handful of times. People who say, I'm watching this thing, and I don't know if it's any good. Like, when will you know if it's good, I wonder?
It's definitely incredibly stylish. It's definitely, the thing is, and this will sound potentially controversial to say, but really hear me out. Mm-hmm. It's like when we went through that time period with some movies where it became, again, my apologies, but Holocaust porn, in that Holocaust movies tried to out like the worst things in the entire world. And it really became about that and less about a conversation about what's going on. They just upped what they were showing. This runs the risk of becoming almost racism porn. Like the whites are so the worst, and all of these things. And it's got tons of like, very racist imagery. And they keep having like these, hallucinations of like, let's say, Little Black Sambo stuff just keeps popping up out of nowhere. And it's incredibly captivating and very well done. But I start to wonder of like, is this really changing the conversation, or is watching a African-American family in the 1950s be treated horribly by all of these white people? It's very true. And that's very important. But it almost seems like maybe, does this anything that I'm saying make sense? Like we're just sort of like rolling around in the same kind of tropes instead of elevating what's going on.
Yeah, right. Well, I think about it like it was so easy to introduce the X-Men movie with the trip to the Holocaust, because watching the parents being ripped apart from the child, even in the context of this superhero movie, it was already set up to play the easy note to play to get your emotions, high and hot. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. Like the racial tropes, like I feel like we're getting there. Like there are some really easy notes that we can play that are going to get you fired up in this story and set your emotional like volume at 8 or so that we can do some other things with this story. And And
maybe that's what I'm a little unsure about,
Yeah.
is the other things that we're doing with the story.
Right.
But yes, I agree with you.
What
And
is the
thank you for
rest
saying
of
all
the
that.
value that it's bringing to the show? Yeah. And I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that either. Like conceptually, like I feel like maybe it's just that we don't yet know how to move the discussion forward culturally. And maybe we're just trying. You know, I just edited today. If you aren't subscribing to Three of a Kind, it's a little just sort of audio essay from Steve Sarmento. And I just edited one today. He calls it America Amendment 2. It's a follow-up to his America series, and it's about the three of the shorts. It's about like gun violence and race. And I feel like just because we don't necessarily know what the whole story is going to be when we look back on this period, sometimes you just have to wallow in it a little bit, right? And keep moving the story around.
Well, it's definitely, thank you for saying all that and helping me out. And also the idea, it as far as it really making it so viscerally, you feel the frustration, anger, terror, anger of being treated that way.
Yeah.
It maybe what I'm overlooking is that in involving a little bit of a supernatural aspect and heightening everything like that, it helps put you in the frame of mind. And if that's what it's trying to do, it's doing that masterfully. So that's Them on Amazon Prime.
That's interesting. It makes me think about, we wrapped up The Falcon and the Winter Soldier last week. And I know, Tommy, you're not watching it, but
No,
right, not yet. But
Ray,
Ray,
I did watch WandaVision.
Okay, that's good. Good for you.
Hooray.
Ray, you're all caught up, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what I'm thinking about that one, because we just happened to watch Avengers Endgame, my family and I. And
Right, yeah, I did too.
And Falcon and Winter Soldier. And we sort of did that back to back. And it's interesting to watch how that message has evolved, right? Where Avengers Endgame, they weren't really toying in any of this sort of cultural debate right now. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is grounded in it. Like that story can't exist until you come to terms with the racist history of Marvel's universe. And the outcome of that final episode, to my eye and heart, was mind-blowing. I mean, it was just fantastic. I really enjoyed the journey they took me on, and the discussion they now have to have going forward. They cannot not have it in subsequent films, since they have made their bed with Captain America, the new Captain America, and he's black, and also he can fly, which is
Anthony
dope.
Mackie, right?
Yeah, Anthony Mackie. And so
Okay.
I find that fascinating to watch what they did with Isaiah Bradley's story. And I mean, it's lovely and wonderful, and the right kind of discussion to have in that place. Like, that meets the right pop culture vein here and now. And I think that's important.
I agree wholeheartedly. I did not expect it to go that heavy. And I usually get annoyed whenever a movie or a TV show goes heavy into its politics, regardless of which way.
Yeah. Any way they go
politically. But I thought it did it well. I thought that it showed its politics and it handled it well, which I can't say about a lot of other things.
Yeah, right. On the other side of that too, I watch, and I shout out to Tom too, because I watched Stowaway. And Tom was on the film board talking about Stowaway, and I had the luxury of just listening to it without participating in it, and it was delightful. Talk about an interesting movie that doesn't deal with race in its own way of dealing with race. Like, they end up having this a black character on here who is discovered as a, for lack of a better word, accidental stowaway. He doesn't become the villain or the evildoer or he's not the mystical, magical Negro character. He is just another guy on the ship. And they just handled the philosophy, like the philosophical challenge of that story, I think, really gently and beautifully. And I didn't feel riled up at all until they were climbing that tether, in which case I think I had multiple cardiac events.
That is such a... Wait, I learned the word. Bravura?
Bravura, you did great.
Bravura.
Yeah.
I was pronouncing it bravura, and no one knew what I was talking about. If you listen to the episode, and then I see Andy clicking around, and he goes, "Are you saying bravura?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's been years." As I said on the podcast, I think I was trying to make it somehow into Bravo.
Yeah, right. You did great.
But that's an incredible sequence. So much so that I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I felt myself, I had to turn away from the screen and pet my dog a little bit because it was so intense and I was in my living room. Wow. It's a cool movie. Okay. Thank you for saying that, Pete. Yeah. And that's cool. And I agree with you about what you're saying, making that so a not thing. That is something that it shares with movies, sci-fi movies like Sunshine. Movies like Ridley Scott's This Is Sort of Still Alien weirdness, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they're almost like post-race. They're very diverse casts, and nothing is about that.
Well, and it makes it like I think we're in this period right now where filmmakers can be post-race, and the act of being post-race becomes an element of the thrill because you totally expect it to be trucking along in racial stereotypes and tropes, and that's usually part of the thrill. And when it's not, you're set up. You're already emotionally heightened for those kinds of things, and it's really fun. Like, it's a fun way to move things forward. So
cool.
So
Pete, other than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you've been watching anything?
Yeah, you know what? This is several. I don't know, probably 3 or 4 weeks back. Kyle was on the show, and he was asking what had changed in his viewing habits over the course of the pandemic, and he said something that really struck me. He said he used to watch all of the like Arrowverse shows, right? Arrow and the Legends of Tomorrow and all those shows, and somehow during the pandemic he just stopped. And I realized as he said it, I had too. Multiple seasons had just come and gone, and I was not caught up. So I have been seriously binging the Arrowverse shows. I finished Arrow. I'm almost finished with Legends, and so it's kind of fun to dip my toe back into the DC television universe. Although, man, you watch them fast back to back, and they're just you feel the template. Like, good overall story arcs that are fun and interesting. And particularly Arrow, the last couple of seasons had this one mega arc that led all the way to the end of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was fun. But the individual beats are so templated to the minute. Like, you just know, somebody's going to pull out an arrow, and it's probably a grappling arrow, and it's amazing. And it's just, I was glad it was over. I loved the experience. It was fun and frivolous and kind of empty calories. But yeah, it's fun.
I don't know anything about anything that you're talking about, but I'm not. Is it called the Arrowverse because Arrow was the first one?
Yeah, that was the first one. And like most of the shows ended up like spinning off and crossing over with Arrow. Yeah. So
and that's what like the Flash is.
Yeah. So there was Arrow and the Flash and Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl and Batgirl and Black Lightning.
I thought it was Batwoman.
Batwoman. Yes, Batwoman. I made a joke to somebody in text about, it's Batwoman and Supergirl. But I made a Barbara Gordon joke, and that stuck in my head because she was Batgirl. But yeah, it's Batwoman, and So that's the Arrowverse.
All right.
Cool. I know a writer on Supergirl.
Yeah?
One of the producer writer people. The end.
Great story. I'm going to put a footnote in that and talk to you off.
Thank you.
Off show. Great. Ray, what are you watching? You doing anything fun?
Yeah, Ray.
For some random reason, I started rewatching the Star Trek movies. The first six.
As you do.
The first 2 through 6. I started with 2.
Ray. OG Star Trek doesn't let you up?
No, I'm going to watch that one last.
Okay. As like a sedative. Oh, okay.
No.
Is Star Trek 2 Star Trek Where's Spock?
No, that's Star Trek 3. But it's funny you should mention that. The most recent one I watched was The Search for Spock. I watched it last night. And so I go to bed and I can't sleep. And it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, what am I going to do? So I listened to Pete and Andy talk about The Search for Spock.
Oh, no.
And so I'm laying in bed and I'm arguing with Pete and Andy, like, how can you say that?
This
Well,
is
it's
my
got
worst
nice-
nightmare.
It's got nice ships, they say.
Well, it does. There's nice ships.
I don't know why, but it just, for some reason, it hit me better than it usually does. Like I had the wonder of a child almost.
Oh, that's lovely. When the styrofoam cliffs started falling apart at the end,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
still had you.
It did.
Pretty much, if it's not Khan or the Undiscovered Country, then it's falling. It's fallen for me a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the whales don't like you either, Pete.
The whales, I never did anything to them.
That's not what they
I
say.
just choose not to associate with the Find.
With the fin.
Usually, we would do the news next, but we're kind of slim pickings this week, wouldn't you say?
Hey, slim pickings, but I feel like we would be doing a disservice to any podcast listener of this show if we didn't complain about the Oscar ceremony.
I loved it. Just kidding. I thought it was so dumb. I get some of the ideas. I love Regina King's walk in, and I love how it was like, oh my God, are they going to do an Oscars heist? Like I really felt that. But I know that Soderbergh had talked about like he wanted it to feel like a real hang and stuff. But I'm sure this has been said 900,000 times, so I'll keep this very short. But in a year when no one has seen these movies, that's the year when you take out the one safe thing you can do, which is showing clips. The one safe thing you can do is compile a bunch of clips and be like, hey, everybody, see this movie? Isn't this cool? Look, the costumes. Instead, we got to find out, like, isn't it true that you enjoy ham sandwiches? I don't care about little facts. And I certainly don't need to see movie stars looking at other movie stars saying what you did was so powerful in pretending to be in the Black Panther party.
Yeah.
Like, gross. Show us a clip.
Yep.
It just made me so uncomfortable. I thought it was really dull. I kind of get the idea of it, but I just feel like it was an idea that was maybe, I don't know. It looked good. I thought Union Station looked beautiful, but just clip it up. What are you doing?
I think if there's anything that really demonstrates it allows us to generalize the overall feeling of the Oscars this year, it's Daniel Kaluuya at the Oscars this year. That guy suffers no fools, and I don't think he was having a good time. He even won something like it was just weird.
Right.
Every cut to him in the audience was weird. What did you think of Glenn Close and the dance?
Well,
the butt?
Spike Lee apparently liked it.
I can't separate that from my anger of giving Lil Ray this weird time killer game show thing to do in the same broadcast where you accidentally play the In Memoriam on 1.5 speed. That In Memoriam blazed by. I was like, who? Wait, huh? Wait, why? And it's like, that can't exist in the same broadcast that you aren't showing any clips and you have this dumb Name That Tune thing.
Yeah.
And
they made some weird
how
artistic.
How is it still 3 hour plus long?
Yeah, they ran
took
long.
everything. They took everything out.
Yeah.
Everything. Musical stuff. Everything. Sorry.
The In Memoriam thing was puzzling to me too, because somebody made the choice to cut that together on the beat of the chorus or of the main theme of the music they were using, which is not something you need to do in an In Memoriam segment. You don't need to think about that. I thought that was really poor choice. I don't know. I felt like they made lemonade in many respects. And then it just like time and time again, they kept bringing more lemons. Like they play themselves over and over and over again, making these weird choices. The things I miss are the things that they didn't need to cut because of COVID, right? Doing it in this weird coffee shop layout, making it look good, shuffling in award winners as needed. Like I kind of get like that. I get everything they did for the COVID responsible. I don't get the other stuff. I just don't get it. Your complaints, I agree with your complaints. I don't know, Ray, you watched the whole thing?
I didn't watch the Oscars this year. I instead opted to watch Naked Gun 33 1/3 and watch Leslie Nielsen play Phil Donahue hosting the Oscars.
Oh, Ray.
I love it. Ray is in an alternate universe.
I love it so much.
I love it. I'm fine with that.
God.
Yeah.
The Oscars, this year's Oscars would be great in a clip show. We haven't talked about any winners. Were there any wins that surprised you or frustrated you?
The winners I thought was pretty outstanding. I'm actually a little sad that this was the world's least watched Oscars because there were some huge strides forward.
Yeah.
As far as diversity and stuff, which was really thrilling. We obviously, the telecast accidentally boned itself by moving Best Actor to last.
That was awful.
Because the only thing I can think of is they were assuming it was Chadwick Boseman. When Anthony Hopkins won, which I am not angry at, I love The Father, and I think he is 100% outstanding in. Obviously, it is bittersweet that Chadwick Boseman can't win, and the fact that it just ended and the wrap-up was done by the always fun to watch and so genial Joaquin Phoenix. Boy, what a guy that can really riff. And then Questlove being like, oops, they cut to me, bye.
That was exactly right. Why would they do that? I just felt like, of course, I totally agree with you. Somebody believed with heart and soul that Chadwick Boseman was going to win that one. And it would have been, I think it would have been a great crowd pleaser. Anthony Hopkins was the right guy, but that Anthony Hopkins wasn't there is a huge miss. Huge miss. So a lot of things fell apart at the end at 3.5 hours. That was, yeah. So I'm bearish on Oscars anyway. I watch them pretty much for Andy because he makes me, but,
this is why I'm so amped up about it, is because this is like, for other people bringing the Super Bowl and be like, we forgot the ball.
Yeah.
Like it's just like someone wiped off all the lines on the grass. we don't know what things are. That's what it felt like because this is usually one of the most important things that I love to watch.
Yeah. That's a great metaphor. All right. That's it. Oscars, I've complained enough.
All right.
Bye, Oscars. Good luck next time.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the new trailers for this week. And this week, the first trailer comes to you courtesy of Tommy Handsome, who picked the trailer that plays before every single YouTube video I watch.
Oh, is that true?
It is.
Yes, I was first this week, just out of luck, and it's The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. Do you think that's how that's supposed to be read? The devil made me do it. No, let me try again.
The devil made me do it.
The devil made me do it. Just like a throwaway?
Yeah, right.
Hey. You okay there? Jesus. I think I hurt someone.
This is Ed Warren, here with Lorraine. All right, let's get started.
Residents of Brookfield were shocked this afternoon by the broad daylight murder of Bruno Sauls.
The court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
Whatever is going on, whatever happened that day, that was not Arnie.
It's a witch's totem. We think your family was cursed. And that connection's still open.
Yeah, I like this series. It always started a little weird. This whole The Conjuring and Insidious whole family, and it all looks the same, and they're really like leaning into like real like practical makeup. Like there's just someone kind of spooky looking and there's no CGI or anything. But I'm a fan, and I'm really a fan of, I like the quote unquote real angle of it. I don't remember what their name is. Dr. and Mrs. Spooky, this real life couple that was involved with the Annabelle and all. Oh, that's right, Annabelle. So many. Either way, I like the idea that these two powerhouses are still coming back for this other movie so late in the game. It makes me sort of excited. It makes it seem almost like a prestige horror movie. And everything about the trailer is not interesting at all. it's every horror movie that looks like that. I'm like, hey, but where's like the weird of a newspaper article? There they are. But either way, I'm super excited for it because I'm such a horror nord. Did you guys? Oh, and I like exorcism movies. I think it's been a while since we've had a good one, and so I'm kind of interested in it. What do you guys think?
I haven't seen any of the movies in this series, which I regret.
Who has the time with all of your Star Treks?
Well, you and your face. Anyway.
Real-time commentary. Weirdly, that line caused Tom to actually...
I had just taken a drink,
eject.
And you said your face, and I almost...
What was in his mouth? I mean, full coronal ejection.
Oh, damn.
Your face. That's amazing. That's amazing. I did not see that coming at all.
He's in tears right now.
The editor is going to love us.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. You were saying you haven't seen any of them.
Anyway, but I love Vera Farmiga.
Yes.
I think I love her. I think I first saw her in The Departed, which is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah.
She was in Bates Motel, which is a series that I love. I thought like the first 10 seconds where the kid is walking down the road and then the cop stops. I thought that was a really good start to the trailer. And it did actually really make me think that, wow, this looks like it might be good. So solid intro.
I'm with Ray. I haven't seen a single one of these, and I think it's because I've been exploring over the years, my newfound interest in horror. Hauntings, I don't get a lot of real visceral joy out of like haunted house movies. I just don't.
That's not this.
I liked The Exorcist, like the.
Oh, okay.
There's just a lot of like, I'm standing in a house and I'm like looking around and something's gonna jump out. Something's in there like this. Oh no, there's a person and he's been possessed and he's gonna jump out. And I
would love to see you on a horror movie pitch, like in an executive office, and then there's a guy, and you're like, "Who's he?" And then he jumps out.
Just be careful! Don't look in a mirror because when you look in a mirror, jump out. And
there's nothing there, and then you wipe your face, and then oh boy. That's amazing.
And then, there's the whole thing where it's like,
sure, and I love that.
Here's a child with part of its jaw ripped off. Oh, look out. And so they've never really interested.
Sure.
I recognize that I should probably see these because I can't, who can judge when I don't? Okay. That's not a very compelling pitch, but I do think I should probably see them. And I think that when you picked this, it said Conjuring 3, and I thought, no, it's not. There are 400 of these, but you just explained it. They all cross over one another. They're all so totally inbred.
Offshoots. Yeah.
That
Annabelle started as the equivalent of a cold open to like one of the first Conjurings. And then it was so popular, they made an entire thing just about Annabelle and then gave it a sequel. It's very hard to... Yeah. It's interesting. And then The Nun is just sort of like nunning it up over all of them. I don't quite understand. The Nun is like, just keeps showing up. They're like, oh, great. Tell me the Nun's not here.
All right. Excellent.
So when and where does this come out?
No, we'll never know. I actually looked it up this time. June 4th, 2021. It comes out in theaters and on HBO Max at the same time. It's one of those.
Weirdly, we're getting to the point where in theaters might not be a joke.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There you go. Up next, I beat Pete. So I picked a trailer, and it's for a film called American Badger.
I think everybody has one thing they're good at. One superpower.
Is this the man they call the Badger?
This is Marcella Orsova. We need you to make contact and find out everything you can about her.
Hi, you're back.
What kind of work do you do?
Everybody knows a good hitman takes no prisoners, tells no lies, and leaves without a trace, right? Except I've never been that good at the whole leaving without a trace thing.
I just heard the girl is still alive. You trying to get me killed or something?
Sometimes revenge and redemption can look awfully similar.
American Badger is about a seemingly cold-blooded hitman is assigned to befriend a call girl, but all hell breaks loose when he is forced to kill her.
Oh, that's what it's about?
Yeesh.
I didn't get that from the trailer. I just saw punchy.
In other words, it's a movie that looks like pretty much every generic modern video game. But somehow it has a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb, so who knows?
What I liked about it, it looks lo-fi, just in the way of like, it looks, you can really tell they did it on digital. They didn't spend too much on lighting, but that feels very refreshing and very, I think I'm using the word too much, but visceral. It looks like it really packs a punch. Like the action looks good. It looks like a cheaper John Wick.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Of just someone really raw. That's the word, not visceral, but raw, because everything looks on point. And I'm interested to see it because the action looks like it might be pretty Jake. Is that why you picked it, or just the title?
To be honest, I picked it just for the title because nothing was jumping out at me this week for trailers. But
come on, you have a Google alert for Badger still?
Well, that song always got stuck in my head. Badger, 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 Badger.
No, I need to hear that, though. That's a banger.
Whatever it is, it's a banger. Yeah. It bops.
It looked, I'm currently on the market for more movies just like this. The fact that I couldn't place anybody in it and they were just all hitting and killing each other seemed like a lock for me. I'll definitely give it a shot. I'm
just surprised whenever I saw its IMDb score. It's
out
that's
of 46
really reviews, but it came out on March 6th in the UK. That was in the UK.
Okay. I was like,
apparently there is no US date. I feel really dumb. I feel really dumb now.
All right. Well,
awesome. Good luck seeing it, everybody.
If you're in the UK,
it only came
available.
out in the UK, and it's called American Badger.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it came out. It was part of the Glasgow Film Festival. So
it's still on the festival circuit. But I do like the idea of just a UK only distribution strategy about a movies with just America in the title. Like, is just cruel, ironic joke. It's fun.
So there's that movie.
Okay, so my movie, you think that's great in terms of release date. Mine came out in October 2019 in France. This is Siberia, the Abel Ferrara film starring Willem Dafoe and Dunia Shikov and Simon McBurney. Sure. This is the thing that I struggle with. So in Wikipedia, it says that Clint is an English speaker. He's abandoned his former life and runs a bar in Siberia where most of the few guests do not speak English. He suffers from hallucinations and embarks on a dog sled journey to a nearby cave where he confronts his dreams and memories, including his father, brother, former wife, and son, trying to make sense of his life. Okay, thank you, Wikipedia.
I didn't know you were such a romantic comedy fan.
IMDb says, an exploration into the language of dreams. The trailer may as well...
Full stop?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's the whole thing. Between those two, I ask you, did you get any of either of those in the trailer?
I got Willem Dafoe, Cave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it in terms of the trailer Mad Lib.
Your soul is outside of you and you must claim it.
You destroyed my life.
I picked it because I think the trailer itself was kind of lovely. Like, I enjoyed the experience of watching the trailer, and I think it was cut nicely together in terms of an artifact of the filmmaking process. I did like it. I don't believe it toasted a compelling story for me. I didn't necessarily see it, and I worry that this might be akin to The Fountain, which I'm not a fan of, or Tree of Life or something like that. You know, like I'm not. And so I struggle with that. It does not clear the 6-star rule. It's a 5.2 out of almost 1,000 reviews on IMDb. Oh, wow. But Abel Ferrara is an interesting guy, right? In terms of a director. He directed Bad Lieutenant in 1992 and King of New York in 1990.
So weird.
Weird. And both of those are over 7 on the IMDb scale. They definitely cruise beyond 6 and were entertaining experiences. And so I find this one puzzling. It stands as a curiosity for me. I want to see it because I want to see, what is he doing now? What is he doing? And he could be anybody involved with this. The release date, so it did come out already across the festival circuit. It's been touring festivals since the 13th of October, 2019. It's been a rough year, but it does open officially here on June 18th, 2021, Siberia.
I really wanted the trailer to say the sequel to The Last Temptation of Christ.
I like the 3 blurbs that they do is beautiful, evocative, and unhinged, because that's how I describe Ray to my friends. Whenever they're like, who are you doing set met with it? I'm like, Ray. And they're like, is he the evocative one or the beautiful one? And I'm like, both. And so unhinged.
All right.
No, this is a curiosity one. And then that one really brief thing where he's like, I'm worried about something. And then it's him in a mirror image wearing sunglasses. And he's like, not so fast, Chief. I was like, oh no, this might be a beautiful disaster. But Willem Dafoe is always fascinating.
Right?
And so I'm in to totally give it a try, going in knowing that also Abel Ferrara is not always a hit for me, but is always very interesting. He's got something to say.
Yeah, truly.
So
I picked this actually intentionally in lieu of the Tomorrow War. The new Chris Pratt movie. Did you see the trailer for this new Amazon film? That was a straight up terrible trailer saying nothing that actively dissuades me from seeing that movie. So I don't recommend you.
What time is the war?
Pretty much. It's like, we're fighting a war 30 years from now. And that's the whole story. Explosion, bloody glass. And it is like, I moved to not see the movie after this trailer. And that's rare.
Oh, wow.
That's rare.
Yeah.
The trailer might normally be bad, but if the premise is interesting or the people are interesting, I like Chris Pratt and this movie looks bonkers bad. So,
if you were between Guardians 3 and Jurassic World 3, you'd need a paycheck too.
Oh, that guy never needs a paycheck again.
All right. Well, gentlemen, shall we move on to the game portion?
I'm so nervous.
Right.
Okay,
what's it going to be?
My mother always taught me that whenever you can, exploit other people. So I am exploiting our Marvel Movie Minute hosts who always like to do their little bracket tournaments.
Brackets. Always with the brackets. I love it.
And I wanted to do one because I follow the trends. I don't make them.
A cool way to say is you're jumping on the trend. That's what they say on TikTok.
I'm trying
on TikTok. They say I'm jumping on this trend.
I'm trying to be humble.
Ray. Okay.
Oh, it's perfect. You're an easy 6'2" on the IMDb scale right now.
Oh, thanks, man.
Humble, evocative,
and
unhinged.
Unhingedly humble.
Anyway, but and now I know I'm a week early, but next week is Mother's Day weekend.
Oh.
And I wanted to do a tribute to mothers. And I have a list of 8 iconic movie mothers.
Oh, it's not just our mothers.
And
mothers that I've met through friends at school. Number 1, Phyllis going against Deborah. It's like the shortest segment ever.
And we are going to vote. We are going to narrow it down to the best movie mom of all time. In what way, unless you're about to tell us, and I'm going too fast, are we defining best? However you want to describe it. Who would you want to be your mom? Let's put it that way.
So is it the mom that we would most like to have for real?
Yes.
All right.
Thank God my mom doesn't listen to this.
Oh,
yeah. So this is a MILF. It's a mother I'd like to have.
All right.
That was pretty good, Ray. Come on.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you. I'm not as humble as you are. A MILF. Give it. All right.
Good job, buddy.
All right. So this is a mother that we'd like to have. Interesting.
Okay. So we are going to start out on the low end of the totem pole, just so you know. Okay. Our first matchup is between Martha Wilson from Dennis the Menace.
Uh-oh.
Or Bella Swan from Twilight.
Wow.
Bella Swan. Wait, I thought Bella was the name of Kristen Stewart. Who's Bella Swan? Oh, it is? Oh, right. She has a kid.
Oh,
See,
by the way,
those
this
movies.
list of 8 people, I pooled a bunch of mom blogs.
Mom blog. Okay.
And picked the most popular 8 movie moms. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Boy,
so, Tommy, what are you thinking?
Well, is it okay if are we doing this together? Like Pete and I combined?
Yeah. So if you guys agree on the choice, that's what we'll go with. If you differ, I'll break the tie.
Perfect. I don't know anything about Mrs. Wilson is Dennis's mom or the next door neighbor?
The next door neighbor's wife.
Is she a mom?
Sure.
Wait, no. Hold on. Quibble. Do the Wilsons have a child?
I don't know. I never delved that deep into the universe.
They were very famously. That's why Dennis is always there. Dennis isn't like, can I come over and play with your child that doesn't exist? Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? Spoiler alert. I don't think that Mrs. Wilson is a mother. So already this is off the rails.
No, but she. Okay, so if you remember the movie.
Oh, is she like a surrogate mother for Dennis?
That, there's this very...
That? To be honest, I don't remember the movie. Am I like glossing over that there was a horrible loss in the family? I don't know.
There's this very touching scene where Mrs. Wilson sings Dennis a lullaby whenever they're watching him because his parents are out of town, and she's very warm and motherly.
So even if she's
I'm
not
going to give it to
mother
Bella Swan
herself,
because one of them is a mother, and the other one is what's commonly known as a woman. Pete, I say Bella takes it in a heartbeat. What do you think?
Well, I think it is weird because I am 20 years older than Kristen Stewart. And so it's rough kind of shaking that, but I am going to say I would like Bella Swan to be my mom.
All right. Yeah. Bella Swan moves on. All right. Our second matchup. And I know Martha Wilson was kind of a blah, 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 one.
Yeah, that was a palate cleanser. If a palate cleanser is meant to clog up your mouth.
But we are now moving up the totem pole. And our next matchup is between Morticia Addams and Ellen Griswold from the Vacation series.
Was it? I know the kids always change. Was it always what's her name as? Okay. Pete, I started last time. Why don't you start your initial thoughts, unless you want me to go?
It's my initial thoughts are very brief. It's Ellen Griswold. Okay. Hands down, Ellen Griswold.
Yeah, one's a monster person, but she's also kind of cool, though. But I like... Oh, well, let's see. As my mom, because I'm me. I might actually kind of like, because she was always really nice to her kids and she was cool. And Ellen Griswold was always just sort of, it was very good, but such a put upon person. You know what? If we're just sort of talking about like, hey, your mom, Morticia Addams might be a more just as more interesting as a mom. I'm going to go with what's the actress's name? Beverly
D'Angelo.
I'm going to go with
versus Angelica Houston in the I'm
going to go with Angelica
film.
Houston. Yeah, because I enjoy more of the oeuvre, and then more better stories and stuff. I'm going to go with that just because I know that Ray has to break the tie.
I think it's Ellen.
You okay with that?
Because she, like, when I watched these movies as a kid, they were the first like central massive family like comedies that I was like body comedies that I was introduced to. And I just always felt a kinship to the kids in that family because I was kind of that age when I saw these movies.
Oh,
and
that's interesting.
And I never had that experience with the Addams Family. I was Russ. Like I dreamt of that. And that was the big joke in our house was Russ right here, Dad. Like that was my character. So it's gotta be, Griswold for me.
Initially, I wanted to say Morticia Addams, but Pete made such a great argument that I'm going to say Ellen Griswold.
I love that argument, and I'm 100% with it. That's
outstanding. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, our next matchup is my favorite.
No.
It is Molly Weasley from the Harry Potter series versus Norma Bates.
Are we? Is there a chance that we want to
on the field?
Is there a chance? And I know that the game has already started, so forgive me and let me know if like, shut up, Tom. The game's already started. Do we want to potentially change the flag to the most interesting mom, or do we still want it to be your mom? Actually, no. Well, yeah, no. Just do we want to keep it as is?
If you were Norman, who would you rather have?
That's a good point. We all go a little mad sometimes, says Mummy. That's not a fly.
But a boy's best friend is his mother, Tom.
That's true. Okay, let's keep it as it is. My fault. But I'm going to keep throwing because I find an interesting mom as valuable as a safe D'Angelo mom. So I'll keep, I'm going to say, is it my turn to go first?
Yeah.
I already forgot the first one, so I'm going to say
Molly Weasley from Harry Potter or Norma Bates from Psycho.
That's Rupert Grint's mom?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember her. I'm going with the one that his son's a creep and she's a creep and they're going to creep out together. What a team. I love it. And her clothes fit me? Dynamite. I'm going with Norma Bates. Again, Vera Farmiga for the win. I love it.
I have a bloomin' onion of problems with everything you just said. It is absolutely Molly Weasley. Because one, she is a dope mom, keeps track of all her kids with the little clock that tells where the kids are, which is awesome. And then in that final movie, she's a straight up badass on the field of battle. And she goes, daughter, magical mama bear. And I love it. So, Molly.
So you're also assuming then that you will A, be a ginger, and B, will be, what was that actor's name again? Because Emma Watson and
ginger Norman Bates.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm sticking with mine. And so, and I don't know what she did in the last movie. So Ray, I'm probably fine with your pick. What do you think?
I got to go, as much as I could pick Norma, I got to go with Molly Weasley.
That's the stuff. I knew it. I mean, look at Ray.
What are you saying?
He is Molly Weasley's son. Look, he's got the beard and the hair. This is Ron Weasley gone grown up.
I thought you were going to say he's Molly Weasley.
He's Molly Weasley. Podcast drop. Yeah.
For our final round one matchup, we have Maria von Trapp. Or the one woman who wants to take care of the problem like Maria, Helen Parr, a.k.a. Elastigirl.
Oh, for crying out loud.
From The Incredibles. She has two children.
She has two children. That's how it works.
Problem like Maria. I got confused. I thought you were talking about whatever that song, that movie was. Okay. I don't know either of these things. Pete, what are your initial thoughts?
You never watched The Incredibles or The Sound of Music?
I haven't ever watched the full Sound of Music, and I have watched The Incredibles. What is her power?
Elastigirl. See if you can pull it apart.
Oh, she's Elastigirl.
Yeah.
Then what's the daughter? The daughter's invisible.
She's Elastigirl. She runs really fast.
Got it. Okay, I'm figuring it out. How dare you? I don't know, Pete. Thoughts? I don't have an initial instinct.
Unlike you, I am torn asunder on this one because, as you know, if I could have my youth rendered in song, I would absolutely do it. But Elastigirl is awesome, and the whole Incredibles family. Yeah, I could truck with that too. I think in the end, I'm going to have
Maria a mother? I thought Maria was like
she becomes the mother to the family at the end.
She does become the mother. Okay. On screen? Okay.
On screen.
Oh, for crying
and then
out
the
loud.
Nazis come and it's just
anyhow, I think I would probably I'd probably want to join the Von Trapps. I'm an entertainer.
Are you one of those kids that like the parents would throw a party and you'd be like, hey everybody, here's my tap dance. They're like, great.
Here's a hat. Put a dime in a hat. Yeah, that was totally me.
I'll go with that. Because I'm not sure. I don't know if I've never looked at my own actual mother and been like, yeah, but what if she was more elastic? Like that never came up. So I'm going to go with Pete.
I can use mom as a rubber band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Round 2, our first matchup.
Round 2.
Bella Swan from Twilight or Ellen Griswold from Vacation.
Ellen Griswold. Absolutely. Because she is a grown woman.
Yeah, that's the tough part because I just rewatched Underwater recently and I was like, Kristen Stewart's got it going on.
Kristen Stewart, that was the alien knockoff Underwater, right?
Yeah.
It was great. I had a great time
with her short blonde hair. I really like that movie and I love her so much.
And she kicks
but that's
butt.
not how and she really does. But that's not how you're supposed to think of mom, so I'll go with what Pete said. Griswold's.
All right, Ellen Griswold takes it to the finals. And before we get there, we have to vote between Molly Weasley or Maria Von Trapp.
I vote Maria because I still don't know who this Weasley person is. I don't think I got to those movies. I'm so sorry. I only read to the 4th book and then I didn't, and then I stopped watching the movies at some point. So
go by the book.
If you see she's amazing, then, well, I feel like I don't remember her that much. I remember the dad because the dad worked for the thing and then the dad got in trouble with the newspaper. I don't remember mom coming along that much, but maybe I'm just a real wizard jerk. I don't remember.
You said it. I mean, you're a wizard jerk. I feel like if she was my mom, there would be a chance that I would be a magical child. And I think I would prefer that than singing all the time for show.
Oof. That is a strong point.
Did you pick Molly Weasley?
I think I just picked Molly Weasley.
So I got to break this tie.
Well, wait.
Aha!
Like on one side, magic. On the other side, Nazis. I still don't know.
She has magical Nazis, though. So
sure. I'm going to go Pete. I still don't know who this Weasley is, but yeah, if the chance is that I would grow up and be able to have an owl and like sticks that shoot things versus, look, my clothes are made of the curtains and I'm sorry. My socks are too high and that's creepy and my country is trying to kill me. I'll go with Pete.
Molly Weasley.
Yeah.
All right. I did not see that one coming. I figured Maria was a shoe-in for the finals. All right.
So it's now Molly Weasley against Ellen Griswold? Never in a million years is this a matchup that I would have imagined us discussing.
No one has ever put these two things together. No. We were writing history. Yeah. Ray is writing history.
Who is the greatest movie mom of all time? Ellen Griswold or Molly Weasley?
I feel like we're missing moms. So we're missing hundreds of cinematic moms.
Mommy Dearest is in there somewhere. Like,
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, well, I won't look. So, Pete, I would like you to take you were really leading the ship.
That's unfortunate because I'm going to go for the basest, most childish reason. And it's, again, I could have magic. And so I can't believe it. But also, I just really like Molly Weasley's vibe in the house. Like, she runs a tight ship, and she's got a lot of the kids, and the kids are just really, if you think about it, they're horrible. Their kids are always getting into things that, as a parent, I would want to lock them up, like in shackles and chains, to keep them from getting into that kind of mischief. And so I feel like she is put upon and put up with a lot, and she still maintains her good demeanor, and I go with Molly Weasley.
And I am officially going with Ellen Griswold
for the tiebreaker.
Because as someone who has some minor daddy issues, I know that some of that stuff can be tough, but she brings normalization to that family. And it's more, she doesn't have to rely on magic and magic clocks that do stuff. She just gets it done. And all of her kids, they're so successful, their faces change every single movie. And so I'm going to, not out of spite, but just out of interest, I'm going to say that I like the idea of more of a down to earth mother that can get it through while still keeping in love with her husband, who is legitimately a mess. So Ray.
Oh, I love that reason
like
too.
Like Frankenstein's monster, you have created a problem that now you have to solve.
I got to go with Tommy's argument that you got to go with the down-to-earth mother with the husband who's a wreck, and that's why I'm going to pick Molly Weasley.
Oh, this whole court is out of order, but I'll allow it, counselor. Well done. Well done.
And well done, Molly Weasley.
Yeah,
congratulations
great job,
to you,
Molly Weasley. And great bracket Ray. Great bracket
nice
Ray. That's
job.
That's your new
GBR.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we all know how to use flute powder.
Tommy doesn't know what that is, Ray.
I know. That's why I said it, to be a dick.
I'm just always assuming it's a sex thing. All right, next.
All right. So now's the portion of the show where we get to the fabled list.
Boy.
So this past week, Pete and Andy and a few guests got to talk about the Shawshank Redemption.
I just started the episode. I'm so excited to hear your thoughts about it. And then I'm so excited about The Mist.
Oh, we hated it.
Which?
Shawshank Redemption? Just kidding. It's the best movie of all time.
Okay.
Stop.
Yeah.
No, it's what an incredible movie and so moving. And I loved it very much. I don't even remember. What is our list about?
So last week they had the option to pick between Make a Run for the Border, characters and movies listening to pre-recorded music, or the one we'll be talking today, iconic movie pinups.
Okay.
And I'm not lying that I didn't spend most of the week going, please don't pick iconic movie pinups, only because it feels so much harder.
Yeah.
But I like a challenge, so I'm in it to win it.
It is harder. And I'll tell you, I went back and I listened to the show. And as I was listening to it, I realized I need judge's clarification. So right before this show, I got on a call with Andy and I said, what are you thinking? And so he said, I think what we were thinking was that it's movies where characters are so iconic that they spawn interest in pinups that come out of those movies.
Nope, too late to make that call. That is not what Ray and I decided 4 days ago.
I just think that it's okay that we embrace all strategies here today, and it's okay. And
what?
Yeah.
Sounds like a cheater's way
Ray,
out to
you're
me.
the host. Throw flags, sports. Throw sports flags.
Well,
this is ridiculous.
Unfortunately, Pete has the founder card. So.
Oh, that's true. Pete actually probably has a button on his desk that makes all of the Next Reel podcasts disappear. Pete is like the podcast, like Dr. Strangelove, like with the hat on the nuclear bomb.
Pete has
I don't know about that because I worked really hard to figure out important posters in movies, which sounds like an insane person's topic.
It does sound like an insane person's topic. And yet I spent time doing that as well. And so I'm excited to talk about all of the movies.
Deal.
Mine straddles both strategies, so it's great.
I'll allow it.
All right.
With potential debate.
Okay.
Deal.
All right, Tommy, because you got your trailer in first, you get to go first here.
So exciting. I'm going to start with, this one's not going to pass. That one's not going to pass. I'm just going to cross that one out. Okay, because I have 5, and one of them I just crossed out because it's so bad. Okay, number 1, and this is going to be a theme, but I'm not going to tell you how. In one of my favorite movies of all time, I should start with the earlier one. Take it back. In a movie that also exists, but is iconic, you meet a character by what you see the posters in his or hers, just kidding, I could say his bedroom. And it really sort of shows you the kind of influences he has in his style, who he's trying to emulate, and in this movie, who he kind of copies his moves to dance with. This is Saturday Night Fever's Tony Manero. He has Serpico and Bruce Lee posters in his room, and he looks at them while he's like through the mirror and stuff, and it really kind of identifies with his character.
Yeah.
And so I would call that, I don't know, an iconic movie pinup.
Outstanding.
Very good.
I think that works.
I can't believe I didn't even think of that.
I know. I can't either. I am shamed.
Hooray! I did it.
All right.
Well, goodbye. Can I go out on top?
Well, my first pick, imagine your grandfather comes over for Christmas and you have to let him sleep in your room on the top bunk.
God damn it.
And we have a steal. Do we have a steal?
He's looking at the poster of the hot babe that you have tacked to the ceiling in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, I don't even remember.
Ray, you doorknob.
Oh, is it a steal? It's a steal.
Yeah.
Who was the babe? Was it a fake babe?
It's
or like
Kelly
a real
LeBrock.
person? Oh, from Smart Story. No, what's that called? Weird Science.
From Weird Science. That's right.
Yep. It's not called Smart Story.
Smart
man.
Story.
Okay, that was great.
Sorry,
that is a great. No, that's okay.
Good work.
You
Ray.
did, however, break my theme. My first pick was going to be that one, and it was going to immediately follow up with Weird Science, because I don't know if you remember this. The boys in the beginning actually have all of the pinups from like Playboy, all of the fold out pinup posters, and they're feeding them into the scanner along with like
is that where she
brilliant
comes from?
things, like all the like stats and all the like they build her brain with a bunch of figures and math that they put in the scanner, and it's really ridiculous. But that is Weird Science, and also Kelly LeBrock. Wow. There you go.
This is the LeBrock episode. Oh, well, that's good though. Hey, that kid, not Anthony Michael Hall, but the other kid, I always really liked him.
Where did he go?
He, and this is not probably a good off ramp to take, but he, and then
that was Ian Mitchell Smith,
Jason London's best friend in Dazed and Confused.
He had like
it always wears the overalls. No, but he always wears the overalls.
Oh, Sasha something or other?
He's the one that you just never really saw again. And it's such a breakout. Both of those are such breakout roles.
Yeah, he was also in Halloween 4.
He was?
Yeah, he was the boyfriend.
He was so funny in Dazed and Confused. He's out. I just watched it again. Everything is based on what I just watched.
I love that movie.
He's so outstanding in it. When they're like going through the door and he goes like this to the freshman, like this, and then he like slides through the door without touching it. He never just came back. And everyone else in that movie famously came back. It's one of those movies. Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah. Didn't someone ask me, hey, quick, Tom, give us your type 5 on Dazed and Confused? I was happy to help. Okay. So for my second one, I was afraid someone would pick it, but they didn't. Okay, this is a movie where there's a young guy and you sort of learn who he is from his bedroom. And the camera's sort of going around and they're showing different posters, and he even sort of mimics one of them by doing some things. And 2 of those posters are Serpico and Bruce Lee. It is a scene that is a clear homage to Saturday Night Fever. In one of the biggest, it's this director who's an amazing director. It's his second film because his first one was about playing cards and not a lot of people saw it. It's one of the most audacious second films that a director has ever had.
Wait a minute. Is it Dirk Diggler?
Yes, it is Boogie Nights.
Goodness.
And Serpico.
Nice.
And because I'm so obsessed with P.T. Anderson that I just noticed this, and he's doing Bruce Lee in the mirror.
That's
amazing.
When
he's getting ready, and it's a complete homage to Saturday Night Fever because both Serpico and Bruce Lee are in both movies. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's really fun. That's great.
I did great.
I can't wait to hear number 3.
Well, enjoy what I said so far.
Interestingly, you could do Serpico and would be a movie that inspired pinups.
Why? What?
Because you have movies with the Serpico poster in them.
Because
clearly
all
the
of those
movie
people
Serpico
have all of these. Right. That's a good point. You're exactly right. Okay. So that is my second is Boogie Nights. I'm great.
My second pick is probably a movie that has been picked quite a lot, but I couldn't help myself because I was running really short on movies, if you couldn't tell by now. And that is, imagine you're in the army and you're in your barracks and someone tosses you a magazine and says, hey, get a load of her. And it's the girl you were best friends with growing up in Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. A pinup.
Interesting. That's actually a great pick.
It is. I mean, there's pinups and then photos. No, but that literally is a pinup that you take something out of a magazine and pin it up. You're right. Cause she was in the, wasn't she in
Playboy.
Like the college issue of Playboy and then she got kicked out for it?
Right.
Or is that just a fan fiction that I
No, that's what
wrote?
that's what they said in the movie. That's what they said in the movie.
That's right.
That's funny. My second pick is absolutely a retaliatory pick, using it in second place here. It was going to be a backup, but it's because, I've done a number of these Saturday matinees in my time. And the movie that I would like to pick is in honor of the number of these that I have done with one of you gentlemen. It is a story about a man who finds work and the girl of his dreams at a circus. It's from 1928. The movie is The Circus with Charlie Chaplin.
Oh,
I am sitting
right behind
staring
you,
at Ray, who has a pinup of Charlie Chaplin right behind him. It is the best. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Screw you, Christmas Vacation.
Wait, you're using Ray's actual pinup against him?
I absolutely am.
That is unprecedented, and I love it. I love it. That's outstanding. I love it. He's right behind you, and he seems to want to believe. These are all very visual jokes on a podcast. We apologize, but that's great. Yes. Charlie Chaplin, a poster in Ray's film podcast dungeon. There's a poster of Charlie Chaplin always over his left shoulder, staring weirdly at me, always looking critical.
He does look
at Charlie Chaplin's face. Doesn't he look like he's always saying, really, Tommy? Really?
You're sure you're going to go with that?
Yeah, really.
Hey, Tommy, you're going to keep talking about that one thing you're talking about right now?
Yeah, like, I'm dead, but in 2021, it's still first thought, best thought?
Awesome.
That's a great one.
Man.
I love it.
All right.
I'll take it.
Tommy, you're number 3.
Oh, I got so excited about the first two. It's going to be a little bit of a downer. Let's see what I got. I'll do one. I can either do a very obvious one or one that might be a little controversial as far as you guys deciding if it counts or not. Which do you choose? Straight across the plate or foul ball that might be fair? Wow, sports.
You go whichever way you want to go. We don't judge.
I'll go straight across the plate. This is a movie I haven't seen
should have
for.
sung the Enterprise theme song there.
It's been a long time.
Going where my heart will take me.
I haven't seen this movie in a zillion years, but along my theme, it's also about sports. It involves a young girl who loves to play a certain sport that is very out of her culture and is not approved. but she looks for help and talks to a poster over her bed for inspiration. And maybe the poster comes to life. I honestly don't remember. It's been a really long time, but at the very least, it is pinned over her bed, and it's like her major inspiration for the entire movie. So much so that that gentleman in the poster's name is also part of the title. Ooh, is this a fun game, or should I just tell you what it is?
I have no idea.
What's the biggest sport in Europe?
Soccer.
Who's the biggest
bend
player?
It like Beckham.
Bend it like
for
Beckham.
Crying out loud.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Of course, bend it like Beckham.
Yeah,
Great.
and she talks to the poster for inspiration.
Yeah, she
and
does.
I honestly think in my mind the poster talks back and is like, yeah, you can bend it like me, but probably not.
Like me?
I just don't remember. But either way, yeah, bend it like Beckham. That's a good one.
You can really bend it. But can I bend it like you, sir?
Why is she in Oliver?
She's suddenly an orphan.
Can I please have some more soccer?
Bend it like you, sir, Mr. Beckham.
I'd love a goal. More goals, please. You're offsides. I'm offsides.
No, you're offsides.
No one is enjoying this skit. This skit is
just
for
a minute ago.
no one.
I just turned into Molly Weasley, I think.
Well, she is the greatest mom in the movie
greatest
universe,
mom
as we've
ever
found out. All right, so my third pick, I had a lot of trouble coming up with three, so you might not might be a slight stretch, but I think it's fair. 1952 film called Moulin Rouge.
About 1952.
About Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, who's played by Jose Ferrer. And he is tasked with painting the posters of the dancing ladies.
Yeah, he paints the pinups.
Yeah. And
like
you
those
see,
posters that
you
people
see
have
him,
like hanging in their bathrooms and
right.
stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There are sequences where you see him creating the posters in the bathrooms.
Well, he's just real.
I had friends that had their parents, they would just have those sort of dancing ladies Toulouse-Lautrec posters in their bedrooms.
Didn't they buy him at Pier 1, right? You can Toulouse-Lautrec, he's rolling over in his grave that all of his greatest work is now like Pier 1 wicker framed bathroom art.
Right. Yeah, Toulouse-Lautrec was the live, love, laugh posters of my generation's parents.
Absolutely.
Like it's Sky Mall art, let's be honest. But at one point he was a legitimate genius. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie. It's a John Huston version of Moulin Rouge.
I'm so embarrassed I didn't know when you said Moulin Rouge 19 I only know what's his name's.
Yeah, I did too, honestly, until I saw this one being advertised on the Criterion channel a couple months ago, and I watched it and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's great. Oh, great choice. Look at how smarties we are.
All right, Pete, your final choice.
All right. Wish you hadn't led with.
I didn't say you have to agree that we're smarties. I said, look at how smarties we are.
So you can see my final pick is one that is, I don't know, it doesn't hold up because I don't know that I would. I don't want to do a show on this movie. Let's just say that.
No.
But it was going to fit into my Kelly LeBrock theme. This is a movie that absolutely inspired a pinup of this poster was everywhere of Kelly LeBrock in The Woman in Red. The poster is a play on the Marilyn Monroe poster over the grate, where the dress is flying up. It was a Gene Wilder movie. Gene Wilder directed it and starred in it. Charles Grodin, it's a fine movie. It is at 6 on the 6-star scale. So it's
right there.
It's right there. It's fine. It's got a little bit of stank on it.
What kind of stink is that?
I don't know. It's just something. There's something about the way they position her to get that pin up, the Woman in Red thing.
It's a little gross.
It's just a little gross, but it's been a lot of years since I've seen it, but it did absolutely inspire pinups, and you can still search for the poster from this movie, and it's all her with the dress flying up on a white background, and it's just isolated red dress fetishism.
Perfect. All right. I'll take it.
Nice.
I don't know that movie, or that sounds like one of those movies. It was like, I've never heard of that. And then I watch the first 10 minutes and I'm like, oh, right. You know what I mean? It sounds like something that it would have played on HBO a lot when I was growing up. And I just watched everything on HBO and never knew what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me just read you the IMDb synopsis, because I think this will paint the picture for you. On his way to work, we're okay so far, Teddy spots Charlotte, an incredibly beautiful woman in red. Again, we're okay so far. He really wants to meet her. But what would his wife say?
Oh, well, there's a
come
left
on.
turn.
That's it. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It just got a little bit of the to it.
But she's 6. And you're like, okay. Did we not know what morality was a long time ago?
Well, you know.
But she's late for recess. And you're like, hey, who's late for recess?
It was 1984. All of the movies that I've talked about have trouble.
Yeah.
Even Charlie Chaplin. Look at him. He's so squirrely.
Oh, stop looking at me. Chuck, give me a break. I get it. It's not my best work. Ugh.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Nice
All
list, gents.
Yeah,
excellent poster list.
And this was a rough list idea.
Dude.
Yeah.
But I found we came through
it.
with flying colors. Look at us smarties.
So speaking of, I think it's time that we choose the options for next week's list. And
let me just say, in terms of a setup, this is going to be for Andy, Steve, and Kyle to navigate.
Okay.
So if that influences your choices at all, Andy, Steve, and Kyle.
As soon as I heard that you guys were doing this movie, I immediately knew one of the list choices I wanted to bring up, and it's not included here.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
I have one too. Ray, go.
Mine is Snack Cake Antics.
Not what I was going to say.
Not what I was going to say. What are you saying? Snack
Cake Antics. Because there's that scene where what's his face in jail has that moon pie and he takes a big mouthful of it and spits it at the guard.
That's like the PG version of Miggs in Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
I didn't even know I was going to say that.
he smelled he smelled the moon pie.
I ate this cake so I could. Oh no! What a great. Okay, Snack Cake Antics. Okay, I mean that's on the list.
What do you think?
Let's say.
What do you think?
Well, there's parts of Green Mile I feel are brilliant and beautiful and wonderful, and also it has the most ridiculous flashback mechanic that I hate. I hate that it opens and closes in this future time, and it goes into like Expositionville. And so one of the things I was thinking is movies with misguided attempts at storytelling through flashback, through like
over. Do you want to make it about bookends or just flashbacks?
Bookends, specifically bookend flashbacks.
Okay, so overwrought,
misguided
or overwrought
flashback
bookends.
Yes.
Oof, that's really specific. You sure?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about anything, Tom.
Pickups. Okay. I was going to say, and maybe this isn't fun, maybe it's just too gross, but like bad deaths.
Yeah.
I had the initial, I still have, he released the Green Mile in Penny,
Serial,
dreadful novels in
pieces,
serials, and one of them was called The Bad Death of Edward Delacroix.
Yeah.
It's is that just not fun?
Well, it's not
Is
fun.
that just kind of gross?
It's definitely.
So maybe we shouldn't do it. Okay.
I think it's fine. It's already in there, man.
Really? I mean, that's just a possibility of awful deaths. Yeah. Because we're not going to show them. Yeah.
Right.
What else? Weird accents. Have you guys ever done about misbegotten accents in films? Because
you think Delacroix is the misbegotten accent?
No, I'm talking about the Green Mile across the board has some rough accent work by Tom Hanks alone.
You think so? I actually didn't. I didn't bother me. We didn't even talk about it. I didn't notice it.
Because I don't want to bring up, you had brought up only because you brought it up before when we were talking about stuff.
Yeah.
This is a very magical Negro movie. I mean, this is but I don't want to necessarily put that out there. But that's something that makes this movie, when I was rewatching, I was like, oh, right. We didn't have a name for it yet.
Yes.
How about movies starring people who were almost Zefram Cochrane in Star Trek First Contact?
All right. So we're done hearing from Ray right now. Let's, Awful Deaths was already an option on the list. I didn't even see it. Whoever's editing this, you can edit some of this. My apologies.
The rest of them on the list. So Mouse Friends, that's kind of cute. I don't know about that. I like
mystical powers in an otherwise realistic story. That seems rich.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can do that. I like that one too. Ray, what do you think?
I don't, but you guys beat me too.
Oh, he doesn't like it. But wait a minute.
I'm kidding.
You get your pick. No, you get your pick. Because I got one and Tom got one and now you get one.
Yeah.
No, I think that one is good because I would love to see next week's panel try to pick from that.
Mystical powers in an otherwise realistic story. That would take some... I like that. But it doesn't feel mean. It feels challenging.
All right. So we have our
like
three
iconic
picks.
Movie pinups.
Well, that just sounds cruel.
All right. Hey, if you're listening to this and you want to vote in this next week's list challenge, you can do so by heading over to the Next Reels Discord community. I know that these two guys right here are always chiming in on something.
He means us. If you like me, but don't want to hear this horrible voice, get on Discord.
I couldn't have said it better. Yeah, if you want to join in the conversations that we have, get in on the list pick voting and movie sabotage, all you got to do is get access to the Show Talk channel. Now, you might ask, Ray, how do I access the Show Talk channel? I can only access TNR community and something. And like, well, here's what you do. You head over to thenextreel.com/membership and consider becoming a supporter of the Next Reel family of podcasts, because just $1 a month can make you what we call a one-reeler, and you can join the online community in Discord, and you can be a part of the voting. And for a few dollars more a month, you become a two-reeler supporter, and you can join us for live streams as we record, like what you're listening to right now. You could have seen our ugly faces as we... our beautiful faces.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
We're very beautiful.
I'm camera ready.
It's kind of like from what I'm looking at in reverse order. It's like evolution of a beard.
That's true.
That's true.
That's spot on.
Anyway, so consider doing that. Also, at the Next Reel, a lot of us tend to use Letterboxd. If you listen to the show, if you use Letterboxd, you can now get an upgraded account to Pro or Patron with a 20% off discount. And all you got to do, what do we got to do? Go to thenextreel.com/letterbox. That's what we got to do. And if you already have a, Pro and you're like, well, sorry guys, you can upgrade. If you have Pro or Patron, you can upgrade whenever your membership runs out and get the 20% off discount. Is that what that means? Or does that mean go from Pro to Patron?
No, that's exactly what it means. You can be either Pro or Patron, new subscriptions, or if you already have a subscription, you can renew with the discount applied. So yeah, that's pretty rare for these kinds of things. So if you want to save a little money on your renewal, you can do that there too.
Yeah, and it's a great service. If you use Letterboxd and you join the Next Reel community, you can also be added to the feed where we have all of our users' Letterboxd reviews automatically come to one of our channels so that we can talk about what everyone's watching and also be Big Brother in your movie lives. This was a great show, a great way to spend a Saturday morning. May the 1st already. Wow.
I know. I can't.
May the 1st be with you.
Right?
Is that not?
That's not how it
May
goes.
the Star Trek give you a howdy. Is that
right? Oh dear.
So it was great talking with you, gents. Tommy, handsome. Thanks for being
always
here.
A pleasure, Ray. I find you evocative, beautiful, and
unhinged.
Unhinged. Gotta be honest, unhinged.
I find you intriguingly, intellectually alluring.
Oh my God.
Wow.
All right. And hinged. Like squarely
At least one hinged.
Hinged up. Okay, cool. I'll take
At
it.
least
Always
one
a pleasure.
hinged. And
Thank
it's
you for
well
hosting.
oiled,
Great
too.
job. Yep.
And Pete Wright.
You're my iconic movie pinup, right?
Oh, I want to believe. Perfect.
It's funny that you say that because when I listened to you guys talk about Search for Spock last night, you said you wish somebody would call you their acolyte.
You have no idea. That still holds true. Everything else in that episode, complete fraud. But that one, still there.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Have a great weekend.